Now, one state Georgia senator, Colton Moore, is moving to impeach DA Willis over the charges brought against the former president, accusing her of carrying out a political agenda against Donald Trump. With us now, Georgia State Senator Colton Moore. State Senator, welcome to National Report. If you could just walk us through, what would an impeachment inquiry even look like in the state of Georgia?
Well, the legislature has an important role, and that is oversight of judicial and executive officers in the state, just like it is in states all across the country. My role as a state senator, I have a job to do. People expect me to do that job, and that's why I've launched this process of calling for a special session to immediately convene so we can first and foremost defund this rogue district attorney, and secondly, investigate this district attorney, and if the corruption is found, ultimately impeach.
It's happening, gang. A growing number of patriot Republicans, as opposed to the feckless, sniveling neocon rhinos, are calling for the impeachment of the corrupt Fulton County DA Fani Willis, and they're moving to do just that, eh, gang? It's me, Dr. Steve, your patriot professor, here to help you think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. If you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, please make sure to share this video with friends and family. We are once again being censored by big tech, so I need your help to get the hopeful message of this channel out to as many people as possible. So we're finally starting to see patriot Republicans make their move. That was Georgia State Senator Colton Moore, who's leading the effort to impeach the lunatic DA Fani Willis over the ridiculous weaponized legal witch hunt against President Trump. And this call for impeachment has got some real teeth here. Earlier this year, the Georgia legislature passed what's called Bill 92 that would create a Senate commission with the power to remove rogue district attorneys throughout the state. Now, the commission was set up originally to put pressure on far-left woke DAs who weren't prosecuting theft and violent crimes as part of this move to institute equity and social justice. But now it's being reported that the Georgia legislature is rushing to seat committee members that will seek to remove Fani Willis for having abused her office for political purposes. And the voices calling for just such a removal are growing. Here's former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich.
You know, the Fulton County DA, Fani Willis, she's asking for a March 4th trial date for the fourth indictment. That's a day before Super Tuesday, 8 days before Georgia's primary, and she launched a campaign fundraising website just days before the fourth indictment.
Republicans have to understand that they're in a political war that is extraordinary and unlike anything we've seen since the Civil War. The Georgia legislature should have a special session and, frankly, disbar her. I mean, she has violated so many rules and is acting so inappropriately. She shouldn't be the district attorney.
In the meantime, we've got Representative Arizona Congressman Andy Biggs. He's introduced a bill to defund Fani Willis. It's called the Willis Act. It stands for Withholding Investments from Lawless Litigators in States Act. It's absolutely brilliant. And at the same time, President Trump and his legal team, along with all other 18 of his co-defendants, are in the process of getting this legal lunacy tossed out. Mark Meadows, Trump's former chief of staff, and others have already filed to have the case, quote, removed from state court to federal court on the grounds that it targets their actions as federal officials. Now, the operative principle here is that federal officials can't be targeted under state laws for actions they took in their official capacity as federal officials. So this is part of the federalist system in which certain issues are reserved for states and others for the federal government to handle. And here's the key, which is so awesome. In the past, whenever federal courts intervened, in every instance, when the removal was granted, when the case was taken away from local prosecutors to federal, the case got dismissed. So that's why a number of legal scholars don't think this case will ever see the light of day. A number of these defendants have already petitioned for the case to be removed from the local courts to the federal courts, and whenever that's granted, historically, the case is thrown out. That's the precedent. So we've got a number of angles working here to push back against this liberal lunatic DA. So what are the Georgia Republicans doing about it? The answer is going to rile you up like never before. But first,
I'll be back.
that's right, gang. He is back. It's time to show our support and celebrate the great return by clicking on the link below and getting your very own Trumpinator 2024 bobblehead in preparation for Donald Trump's glorious reascendance to the United States presidency. This collectible bobblehead from Proud Patriots is made with the highest quality material, and it really is a must-have for any Trump fan who wants to send some energy towards what's shaping up to be the single most glorious political comeback in history. Now, don't wait. There are just a limited number of these collectibles, and you don't want to be caught paying way more later on eBay from someone who bought one now. So whatever you do, don't wait. Click on that link below right now and show your support for Trump 2024 today. The utterly feckless, odious neocon Georgia Governor Brian Kemp is, of course, true to form, pushing back against these impeachment efforts. I mean, after all, who needs Democrats when you have spineless rhinos? He's refusing to call a special session, which is, only temporary, because eventually the Georgia legislature is indeed going to be in session, and they're going to have to deal with this issue as one of their top priorities. And on top of the governor's fecklessness, you also have the Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr, again a Republican, who's refusing to step in and get involved in the motion that was filed to remove the case from state court to federal court, even though Georgia state law requires the attorney general to be involved in any state criminal case that could be removed to federal court. We talked about this on Friday's live stream, but a Republican attorney general in Georgia could shut this circus down right now, this very second, but he refuses to do so. And it's all because these feckless rhino establishment hacks are all in on it. They want Trump indicted. They want Trump taken out. But it's all ultimately to no avail, not unexpectedly. President Trump's lead in Georgia has only grown as a result of the indictment. He's now hitting almost 60% support among Georgia voters in the GOP primary, holding an obliterating 42% lead over Ron DeSantis, 57-15. I would say this primary was over were it ever to get started in the first place. This is not a GOP primary. This is a pummeling. These other candidates aren't even the same league as Trump. And if these Georgia Republicans want to survive as a viable party, they are going to have to faithfully represent the concerns of their constituents. Look at this poll. This is an AJC poll. 94% of Georgia Republicans believe this Fulton County indictment is a political witch hunt. 94%. What planet is Brian Kemp and Chris Carr living on? This is what's ultimately going to get this lunatic DA impeached. If 94% of the GOP grassroots puts a proportionate amount of pressure on their elected officials, this whole thing may get shut down faster than any of us could have imagined. Hey gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.